Planning a trip to Hawaii, but you're not sure where to start? Well, in today's episode, we talk about 5 common mistakes people often make when planning their trip to Hawaii. Let's go.
Aloha. Welcome to Hawaii's Best. Here, you'll learn what to know before traveling as we discover Hawaiian culture, local businesses, and the experiences that make Hawaii one of the most incredible places in the world. And now, your host, Brian Murphy.
Aloha and welcome back to Hawaii's Best. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. We're going to be talking about 5 mistakes when planning a trip to Hawaii, and I can guarantee you that I've probably have made 4 out of 5, if not 5 out of 5 of these mistakes. And I hope your summer is going well. It is already the end of July at the time of this recording and release, and I hope you have taken time to relax, vacation. Maybe you're in Hawaii right now, or you are coming back from a trip to Hawaii, or you're planning a trip to Hawaii. This episode is for you. Really, this podcast and everything that we do at Hawaii's Best Travel is for you. And if there is a topic that you ever want me to cover on the podcast or on our blog, please email me at aloha@hawaiisbesttravel.com. Would love to hear from you and just continue to grow the community. Would love a little bit of feedback and on how we can continue to serve and bring value to you and your planning. And any suggestions you have or anything that you would love us to cover on the podcast, would love to hear from you. So go ahead and email me. We'd love to meet you. All right. So planning the perfect Hawaiian vacation can feel like a dream. Like you're finally going to do it. You're finally going to visit Hawaii. But without proper knowledge and preparation, it can quickly lead to unexpected challenges and just questions and not sure what to do and what to know before visiting. And that's why today we're focusing on the top 5 mistakes visitors often make. And there's many more mistakes, but I just wanted to narrow it down to the main 5. So whether it's your first time visiting Hawaii or it's your 20th, this episode is packed with crucial tips on what to know for your next trip.
Number 1.
So let's get right into it with mistake number 1, overpacking the itinerary. This is probably like one of the biggest ones, one of the biggest pitfalls. I see all these itineraries, in Facebook groups or just with people asking questions. So many times it is just packed with wanting to do everything within, 5-7 days. And I totally get it. Maybe this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to visit Hawaii and you want to make the most of it, the best of it. And I totally get it. You want to do all the things, but Hawaii is not Disneyland. You're not going to be able to pack all the things in. And if you treat Hawaii like an amusement park and like Disneyland, it's going to be a bummer time, because that's not what it's about. And I think if you're tuning into this podcast, you might have an inclination of that's what it's not about. Hawaii is not an amusement park. So one of the most common pitfalls, like I mentioned, is over-planning your itinerary. So often when we visit, sometimes it's for business, sometimes it's to get away, vacation with the family, and often we don't really have a whole lot of things on the itinerary we want to do. Like we want to go see this friend or go visit this business. But often it's like, hey, we're just going to hang out around the beach today, or we're going to head up to the North Shore. And as we drive, we might hit a spot that looks cool off the side of the road. Or if we're just going across town, we might stop at a spot we never had stopped before. That's the beauty of visiting Hawaii, is there's so many local spots that can often be overlooked and missed if you're just hanging out within the confines of Waikiki. Each of the islands have their own unique character and things to do and experience. However, trying to squeeze every island into one trip, and like we mentioned last week on the podcast, how to island hop, how to visit multiple islands, but trying to squeeze every single island into one 7-day trip often means that you'll spend more time traveling than enjoying these islands and these experiences. Every island in Hawaii offers its own rich history and experiences that deserve thoughtful exploration and time. Oahu, for example, isn't just about visiting Pearl Harbor. It's about uncovering hidden gems like the North Shore and absorbing the culture and history of Honolulu. Maui offers more than just the road to Hana. It provides breathtaking sunrises and sunsets at Haleakala National Park and relaxing afternoons on Ka'anapali Beach on the west side. And I'll also add, Maui is not just about Maui, it's about Lanai and Molokai too, and visiting those islands as well. The Big Island of Hawaii isn't only about its amazing volcanoes, it's also famous for its coffee plantations and prime stargazing spots. So my recommendation would be the most effective approach would be to have just a week focus on exploring just one island thoroughly for 1 week. This allows you to immerse yourself deeply into the local culture and scenery, getting to know some of the locals as well, and savoring everything more authentically and on island time, if you will. So you can take time to engage with the community, participate in activities like lei making, or simply just relaxing on the beach without the rush to move on to the next flight, to the next thing. It's not merely about saving time, it's about enriching your overall experience. So by concentrating your visit, you can return home truly refreshed from your vacation and a sense of connection to the places and the people that you've met along the way, not just having checked items off a list.
Number 2.
Mistake number 2, this is a big one, ignoring local advice and warnings. When visiting Hawaii, it's critical to respect local customs, culture, and environmental guidelines, which are not only about politeness, but also about ensuring your safety and other safeties while preserving the unique ecosystems of the islands. Hawaii's rich culture and natural beauty are protected by various laws and traditions, including the ancient kapu system, which we've written a blog post about that, and I'll link that below. These laws are critical in conserving the environment and cultural heritage of Hawaii, designating certain areas as sacred and off limits to protect wildlife and historical sites. Disregarding these areas can not only lead to fines, but also harm to the environment and just a bummer time if locals catch you. Also, the advice from locals about ocean safety is super important. The waters in Hawaii can be unpredictable at times. They have hidden dangers like strong currents. Beaches display flags indicating swimming conditions. For example, red signals dangerous waters and yellow suggests cautions. These warnings are obviously vital for your safety. Always swim where lifeguards are stationed. Basically, when in doubt, don't go out. That could be for the water or even hiking. And while hiking, particularly in areas like volcano fields or dense rainforest, it's essential to stick to marked trails. This protects both the environment and ensures your safety, as the terrain can be challenging and the weather conditions may change rather quickly. Local insights also guide you to authentic experiences, leading you to hidden gems not on the itinerary and supporting family-owned businesses that offer fresh local cuisine. So that's why I kind of a callback to not overpacking the itinerary. It's important to, as you're going about, striking up conversations with locals, with Hawaiians, and just learning and asking questions. And you'll be surprised at what you'll be able to experience and find as you dive into the culture there.
Number 3.
Mistake number 3, underestimating costs. Hawaii ranks as one of the priciest destinations, and I think most are aware of that, but many are surprised when they actually visit Hawaii and find how much a gallon of milk costs or eggs. It's important to have proper financial planning so you can enjoy a relaxing vacation rather than facing financial stress when you get home. Accommodation costs in Hawaii are notably high compared to the U.S. continent. So beyond nightly rates, additional fees for amenities like pools, parking, and Wi-Fi can quickly add up on your budget, especially during peak seasons like the holidays or summer. Transportation also adds up. Public transportation is limited, making car rentals almost a necessity for exploring beyond your immediate area. However, if you're just staying in Waikiki, you're probably pretty good if not renting a car. But if you're staying on the Big Island of Hawaii, it's pretty much you need to rent a car, and that's going to be important to factor into your budget. Dining out is another major expense with prices considerably high due to the imported of goods. It's crazy to think how much stuff actually gets imported into Hawaii. And I know there's a lot of talk about producing more locally. And so that's why, as you go about your vacation, to support those local businesses, those local restaurants. But it's wild to think, I think the stat is Hawaii couldn't last 10 or 14 days with the ports closed because of so much stuff that does get imported from the U.S. continent and elsewhere. So just be mindful of that. Budget for dining out is going to be probably pretty high, as well as buying groceries. If you're staying in like an Airbnb or you're staying in like a timeshare that has a kitchen, buying groceries is going to cost a bit more as well. Just the day-to-day stuff, that adds up pretty quickly. So always allocate a buffer in your budget for unexpected expenses, last-minute adventures, special souvenirs. Like you came across, you went to a farmer's market and you had to get that thing. That's cool, but have a buffer for that as well.
Number 4.
All right, mistake number 4, neglecting sun protection. This is something that I'm definitely better at today than I was. The sun in Hawaii is magnified due to the proximity to the equator, and many visitors underestimate the sun in Hawaii, leading to not just immediate discomfort of sunburns, but also potential long-term health risks as well. It's recommended to use a sunscreen that is SPF 30 or higher, and this sunscreen should be applied liberally, frequently, every 2 hours. Make sure you put it on and then wait a little bit before getting into the water so it doesn't just wash right off. It's also important to remember to use reef-safe sunscreen because Hawaii has banned sunscreen containing harmful chemicals like oxybenzone and octinoxate since 2018 to protect its coral reefs. However, what I would highly recommend, sun protection involves more than just sunscreen. Wearing hats, sunglasses, UV protective clothing can significantly enhance your defense against UV rays. These items provide additional protection during peak sun hours between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Hydration is also another key element, as sun exposure can quickly lead to dehydration, especially on hikes or doing activities. So always carry a reusable water bottle to ensure that you stay hydrated, aiding your body's ability to cope with the heat. So by taking these precautions, you can fully enjoy Hawaii and enjoy its beautiful outdoors without suffering the adverse effects of the sun. It's such a bummer. Sometimes you see that person that is just completely fried, and that's got to be super uncomfortable. So I hope that this step of heating sun protection is a critical one to make in your planning.
And finally, number 5.
Number 5, not exploring local cuisine. Hawaii's cuisine is a melting pot of native Hawaiian traditions blended with influences from Japanese, Filipino, Portuguese, and Korean immigrants throughout the many generations. So this offers a unique experience and a plethora of local cuisine options. Really, by sticking to familiar chain restaurants or settling for hotel dining, you really miss out on authentic dishes that encapsulates the island's culture and history, such as poke, lokomoko, and laulau. I'm always amazed if I'm in Waikiki and I always see the Cheesecake Factory packed. I don't get it. But hey, maybe if you're listening to this, you've been to that Cheesecake Factory. I don't know. Maybe it's good. I've never been to that Cheesecake Factory in Waikiki, but it's always packed. And I'm like, man, these people are missing out on some amazing local dishes. And I totally get it. Maybe you've already done that and you want to go to something familiar. Totally get it. You could eat at the Cheesecake Factory, but maybe just get outside of the Cheesecake Factory for a few meals. And the reason for that is you gain a cultural insight. Food is culture and culture is food. And being able to sample traditional Hawaiian dishes or attending a luau can really deepen your understanding of the island's heritage. It also supports the local economy. Opting for meals at locally owned restaurants or purchasing from local markets not only offers fresher, region-specific ingredients that aren't imported, but also supports the island's economic sustainability. You also get a higher quality and freshness, and Hawaii renowned for its fresh seafood, its vibrant fruits. Hawaii provides a culinary experience that showcases these ingredients at their peak of freshness. So to fully engage with Hawaii's food scene, you want to, 1, consult locals, ask where they dine to discover authentic spots beyond the usual tourist spots. Number 2, visit farmers markets. No matter what island you're on, there's going to be a farmers market. So be sure to look that up and visit. Maybe I should do a post on where to find farmers markets on each island. That's a good idea. Just popped in my head right now. So I'll do that. So look out for that. Number 3, participate in food tours and cooking classes. These activities offer more than just tasting. They provide insight into the preparation of Hawaiian cuisine, equipping you with the knowledge to even recreate these flavors at home. So this wraps up our look at 5 mistakes to avoid when planning your Hawaiian vacation. These insights are designed not just for vacation planning, but to help enrich your experience to Hawaii, one of the most incredible places in the world. And I think a bonus mistake would be to not actually plan the trip and do the trip. So if you've been thinking about booking that trip for a while, it's within your budget, you think you could do it or save up for it, just do it, because visiting Hawaii is just one of those experiences that I think everyone should have. And as you visit, this list of mistakes and many other things that we provide on Hawaii's Best are to help educate and to help prepare you for your trip to Hawaii, so you know what to expect, how to engage with the locals and Hawaiians, and just how to make the most out of your trip to Hawaii. And if you found this episode valuable, please be sure to follow this podcast and share with a friend. Maybe that friend, that family member is planning a trip to Hawaii, and this episode might be helpful for them. I would encourage you to please share that. Thank you so much for considering to do that. And thank you so much for listening all the way to the end of this episode. And until next time, my friends, be well. Aloha.
Mahalo for listening to this episode of Hawaii's Best. To stay up to date on future episodes, please subscribe and visit us at hawaiisbesttravel.com.